What's up? What's up, crypto peeps, fam, everyone? How are we today? Happy Wednesday. Man, look at Bitcoin go. Crazy, huh? Amazing to see those kind of candles. Voice still isn't back yet, but I wanted to do a follow-up on Monday's episode. And, I've been giving it a lot of thought, primarily because of what's happened to me recently, this week. Anyways, so, when I talked about getting in your own way earlier on Monday, to add to that, when we get into our head, when we start to make assumptions of what things are based on our mindset, based on our perception, without really knowing the reality of it, we can kind of get lost in that thought and get just stuck in our minds and stuck in our thought processes. And that can get negative real quick. That can get to a point where you're assuming things which inherently like beat you down, because if you're assuming something negative, which is primarily why you would be stuck in your own head, then that negative thought is just going to build, and you're going to continue to add to that with basically fantasy thought process, because you don't know the situation until you confront it. And realistically, that's the key right there. I think when we have issues, and we have these things happen to us where we start to get into our head and we start to think it's us, and we start to think we did something, and we start to think, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And then you're like, or did this person really mean that? And are they saying this because it's how they feel, or did they say it out of a reaction? A lot of times when we have things happen to us in life, we have what's called a knee-jerk reaction. When somebody says something and it affects you a certain way, or does something and it affects you a certain way, you get a knee-jerk reaction to it. Like, it's just a quick response, instead of stepping back and thinking about it and coming up with a reaction to it that actually makes sense. And I think that's important to do too. How do they say it? A wise man is of few words. When you get in a situation, to say less and listen more, a lot of times will help immensely. Another thing to consider is that if somebody asks you a question, you don't owe them an answer right then and there. You don't owe them that. You might owe them an answer, but it doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be on the spot. You don't have to reply right away. You can give that thought. You could say, you know what? I'm going to step away and I'm going to give this some thought. I'll get back to you on your answer. It's another way of looking at things. So getting stuck in your own mind can be very defeating. It can be very debilitating. It can stop you from wanting to do things. It can get in your own way, kind of like I talked about on Monday. So the best advice I have, the best recourse to this, is to stop yourself if you can and confront the situation. Confront the person, confront the action, confront whatever it is that got you into your headspace. Confront it. And then start asking questions and get answers. It's a lot easier to resolve something. It's a lot easier to move forward on something when you know the facts to it, when you know what the reasoning is behind it, versus the unknown. The unknown is really challenging to try and do anything with, because you don't know. So how can you put any thought to it because you don't know? How can you put any repair to it? You don't know. If you don't know what's broke, you can't fix it. So keep those things in mind and try and stay out of your own head as much as possible. I do it. I know a lot of people do it. And probably everybody does it at one point or another. So, just a lot of thought I've been given to it. And, you kind of get to a point where you just let things roll off you. And you accept things the way they are. And then you confront things that you need answers to. You confront things that you need to question. Excuse me. And when you do this, you'll have a whole different perspective on things. So again, just to follow up on my Monday, got a lot of big things happening. Looking to start my own podcast, and I'm currently working on the name. It's going to be, pretty much just chill conversation, community-based, bringing people onto the show and talking about life primarily, what makes us tick. How do we get through certain obstacles and get different perspectives on things, I think it'll be fun, and it'll kind of be a tie-in to my Motivational Mondays. So wish me luck. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for supporting this channel. Thank you all for supporting me. And I appreciate all of you. I love you guys. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. Peace.